Hey, NASDOG. We get the best dope on the markets. I am your host, Alan Palmer. It is June 8th. War is back on. And the metals are lower. All right. In the old days, thousands of human floor traders. It was the perfect example of humanity when I forget exactly what somebody said. It was really good. the smell of humanity. Okay. Anyway, silver, we're down $2.50 here. Okay. Bonds have not rallied since the SCOTUS, the five females. The five females: Elaine Comey Barrett, the other three nut jobs, and Roberts. The five females voted to that anybody, anywhere in the world, 8 billion people can drop off their kid. At the same time, let's look at crude oil here. We'll go look through and look at these markets here. This might go longer, okay? Because I want to hit some of these other markets like the bonds. And as a matter of fact, can I bring one over here on the bonds here? Replicate, window out of page. Let's bring the bonds over here, okay? So we got crude up $3.50, okay, right here, 75.30. That's a new high, actually. And this is what it looks like, okay? You can see I got that big line there. I got a yellow there, and I got an orange right underneath here, okay? We missed all of them, okay? But that was pretty close. We hung in here, 3 days, back over the old lows. Listen, man, it was a hard higher on the quarter because we just finished June, okay? And then a little war, and this is where we are. So here's today's high and low, okay? This is what it looks like on the charts. These would be something, 71, 72. See those powder blues over there? They are mapped out. What is the low here today? It looks 71, 75, okay? The numbers, it looks like it hit, right? Okay, except these are pro CQG charts, okay? And that did not hit, but it is what it is. Let's go take a look at gold here, okay? We got gold down $73, okay? And this whole thing here too, we closed the quarter. Where did we close the quarter here? Where's the end of June? Right here, 40.38, okay? So we got down to 40.50, even round figure. Above this low, perfectly mapped out, which is 40.50, 46.20. Sorry about that, guys. 40.38 half. This is the one I was talking about. We had to look back here to see what we could buy because I had an olive line buy here and it didn't, didn't pan out. That's it. It's gone. Okay. So this is silver. This is gold. And then let's go back and look at silver here, okay? So here, this is a small sequence, okay? Here's the red. This is last night. This is a new sequence, okay? I got somebody looking to buy this stuff, okay? So we want to know the sequence of numbers here. But this is the green right here. Look at this. All last night here, or what is this? This is like about a 60-minute here. So what time did we break? 3:24 in the morning, okay? This is when Trump is over. Oh, man. The fake news is like Trump fell asleep. Well, how about you do what he's doing at 80 years old, okay? Biden was, yeah. Anyway, you might get off your fake news because it's just brutal, man. It's just all hate, but that's just my opinion. So this is silver here. Let's go touch on the grains here because grains, here, we just opened, okay, 8:30 here. Bean oil opened 160 higher here. Let's look at that. That's a pretty big move. 7 times 3 is 210, okay, 3%, okay, about, just so you can ballpark it when you walk in here. Here we're over this. We'll see where this goes. What's this high right here? 70.16. We're at 70.24.29 here. We're running some buy orders here. Up above here, take a look at those numbers. These are second time ups here, though. Okay, that's in bean oil. Let's go see what these things are doing. Beans up a nickel right here. 1205 and a quarter, folks. Okay, this is why my numbers have good shelf life. Okay, 1205 and a quarter right here, red. Okay, is the only thing I had. I had one guy hedge some corn on it. Okay, here we came back down to those olive line buys over here because, these were technically new highs for a year and a half. Okay, so you got to look at it as either way. Doesn't matter, bullish or bearish. Right now here, this is what I want to point out right here. Is this volume here? Look at this. 261,000 here. I just grabbed this one, 167,000. Okay, that is by far here. What was this back here? 240,000. Okay, so what were we doing back here when the volume was? Oh, okay, here. This here. 32,000. Look at this. Okay, and you did come back and test that, but it took you 2 months. Okay, this I represent in my studies, in my 50 years in the market, that's a big player. Okay, and it's not just the funds. It's not just the funds. That's a big player. So let's go to corn here. Okay, corn, same thing, 460 and a half. Yesterday's high is the overnight low. Well, it was yesterday's high. We closed over it. Okay, so it was yesterday's high for a while. Closed over it, and now here it is. That's the pivot of the day. Powder blues, 460 and a half. And this was what it looked like on the downside. These were some areas right down here, right in front of the USDA. It's always scary, but at least if you got a break. But the change is lowering the grain stocks. Okay, speaking of powder blues, okay, why you might want to pay attention here, 317. I'm going to round off the numbers. This is in D-Smeal. D-Smeal 317 yesterday. Where did we close this bar just for shits and giggles? 1690. Do you think? You think? And then, okay, they put it out here, and this guy's like, I'll sell all of it right here. And then they let it close back, new highs, nobody's spooked. But this was where we broke from. Okay, so here we are stuck in here. We got a red, we got a green, different time frames here. So you might guess the green right here, this green, hard green goes with the orange on the upside here. Okay, and then the olives. There you go. Okay, so even without knowing what these are, here, this is I don't know what this is. This is a green on the downside. Okay, green, orange, thin olive, thick olive. Okay, that's how that goes. The sequence that I use with the colors. Okay, let's finish off on the bonds here. This was right. It happened in the after session when SCOTUS, Supreme Court, ruled that anybody that comes to the United States, okay, like these baby farms in Texas, they're all over, that are bringing in the Chinese CCP. They come here, they're born, you pay for it, they go back home, they learn the communist way of life for 18 years, come back here when they're 18. Okay, that's what we got going forward here. And so let's just look at this a little bit longer term here. Let me put a daily on the bonds. Okay, that's the day. And listen, I was very, what was it, June 4th? Yeah, it was right in here. I was like, I thought this might be long-term bullish golden age. Trump's golden age is changing everything. The only people in the world that hate him are white liberal Democrats. So this is where we are here, 1129, a green here. These are small. These are tiny. Okay, and so here we went out there, took out the low there. What was that, 01? It's the same type of pattern here. What was the low here? 31. You took it by 2 ticks. So, okay, so then as soon as you go one bid, possibly if you're a trader, you buy it at 2 with a new low stop. And I'm not saying here this because this has got a green right here. I'm talking about when you take out a low by a smidge, you go gunning for stops. You don't get them. It's a trade. And this isn't to say that later in the day we don't go back here, okay? That's just to say a type of trade when you get back over old lows. Okay, here I'm running here. What is it, 836 here? So silver just ran down here. Back down to this green we were talking about. I'm just here. And then, this is a daily here. Let me put up something a little bit shorter term here. Okay. This is gold. Okay. There's a trend line. Okay. That's the way it played. Blast over it. Okay. Maybe if one was looking to buy scalp, okay? These aren't long-term, folks, okay? I'm not representing long-term. We did talk about, wait a minute, 40.38. 39.85, yeah, 39.85. That was a potential long-term buy, okay? You get under, you start closing under 39 double, 55. Double is 55. Grab your fingers together. Okay, here's a look at the U.S. dollar here. We're up, okay? You can see, got a little pivot area right here. Let me go in long-term. Okay, this is what it looks long-term. Here, I'll blow it up. Here, we'll just take a look at it, okay? So we're making highs for a while. I think it's several years here. This is copper, okay? 606 was low, 610 last, okay? Should we throw up some, here, hang on. Let's look at this. Okay, that's off the low. Just like silver. These will be just like silver. Okay, so it starts right here. Okay, you go green. Okay, these are buy numbers. Okay, these would be areas here. Listen, these things could be short to here. You're like, it's going lower. Okay, you sell it when it goes under or something like that. But in any event here, we kind of caught a bid right around this orange money manager special. Call it 607. Is that chart moved over? Okay, and I'm sorry about that. So here, we got a green here. This is just in this little sequence here. What do you got? You got a head and shoulders top here. Here's a head, and you can make a case of neckline. This would be in here. This would be your neckline here. Let's draw one real fast. So we're going to take it off of this one, okay, because this will be the shoulder, and something like that, okay? Not clean at all. Not clean at all, okay? Okay, I think we're going to end this. Should we go look at RBOB? This is my soft page here. You could pause it here. Here's sugar, coffee on the bottom. Cotton is over to the right. And then that's a spread in the cotton. Top right-hand corner here. This is in percent on the year. This is the NASDAQ, okay? So we got up 20% on the year. I think it was more from the low tick. Remember that? Because we went up something like 15 days. I cannot remember. Okay, I'm just kind of off the. Let's look at S&P. Okay, right around that 8% level. What do we want to do? Should we? Well, no, no grains here because we're just. And then I realized I don't remember where the olive line or the powder blues were in the beans. This is beans up 13% on the year here. Okay. What were we up here, down here? 5.5% ish. Okay, that's plus 6% on the year here. Should we just blow it up one time? Okay, so we went up 14%. This is just top tick. Okay, it's not saying anything about anything. Okay, so here 6% back to steady, 10% back to what? 503. Okay. And then up to 14%. I'm not saying anything here. It's just a chart in percent term on the year. So you were asking, well, what's crude? Okay, here, we're up 30% on the year today. Yesterday, we were up 23.5%. On those lows, we were up 17.5%. Okay, this is what it looks like. This is the August contract, okay? So back here, when we were doing this, the August was getting dragged up. Okay, to a much lesser, because they had the squeeze was in the front months. They didn't have fuel for, this happened in March, so you got March, you got the April contract, which goes off in March. Okay, so then and then the May contract, then the June contract. Well, this is the August contract, so this is where we got up about 75%. Because we got up 100% in the front. Remember, we went from 55 to 110. You can't really count 120 because nothing trades up there. If you need to get involved or you need some better levels, email me, stop over to NASDAQ, take a package. If you need some things for your algo, as a matter of fact, you know what? We haven't seen a lot of those sevens, have you? Or the diamonds. Last week, I think there were some that were ending, and that was on the, that's right, corn on the downside. So there was a 7. Email me, ARP@NASDAQ. Thanks for watching. Always use a risk stop to stop the risk. Now let's listen to that tape here. We'll end on that.
Trading here now, guys. 82 even start trading. Paper comes in a big seller. 81 even start trading here now. There's 79 start trading. You got 79 trading here now. Once again, 78 start trading. 6s are trading. 76 even start trading here now, guys. 75 even start trading. 4 even. 2 even.